Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. This afternoon we're going to talk about the Standard Motor Company and one particular example that we have in stock, a 1934 Standard 12 Deluxe, and it's a very rare and interesting example with quite a story. Standard began making cars in 1903, but they were made famous really in the 1930s under the stewardship of John Black, later Sir John Black, whose name we also associate with Triumph. The Standard Motor Company, after the Second World War, bought Triumph, and they also saw the need to develop a new engine, what we call the Vanguard engine, for the Standard Vanguard Saloon. That engine became the power unit for the TR2 and later for the 3 and 4, so it's a very well known and very well proven engine, which also saw life in the Ferguson TE20 tractor. Now in the 1930s, Standard was a very popular family car, and this particular example has a most interesting story. Now the city of York, not far from us, is associated with confectionery, and particularly with the chocolate manufacturers Rowntree, Macintosh and Terry's. This particular car was owned by a company called NMU that were a subsidiary. They were bought by the Rowntree company. They were a coach building concern, and they built buses, and they also built, for example, cocoa tankers for Rowntrees. So back in 1934 they bought 3 cars, 2 Austins and this one, and this is not only unusual in being quite a rare Standard 12, but in my experience unique. I've never seen one before that had something called the Wilson Preselect gearbox. Now we have this super history file. We have a file like this for all of the cars that we sell. It has not only the 1934 standard car instruction book for the 12, but it also has this little booklet entitled Lubrication and Care of the Wilson Preselective Self-Changing Gearbox. Over the years I've dealt with 2 different types of preselector gearbox. The type with a fluid flywheel, which for example the Daimler models have, Daimler and Lanchester, but this one, which is essentially a fully self-changing gearbox but doesn't have a fluid flywheel. And the introduction to the section on the lubrication of this gearbox makes fantastic reading. Just imagine getting this past the advertising standards authority today. This car is fitted with a Wilson self-changing gearbox, the most extraordinary revolutionary device since the introduction of the motor car itself. This remarkable innovation enables the change of gear to be effected with the utmost speed and without the least possibility of miscalculation, damage or noise. It is proof against almost any kind of abuse, is self-adjusting and will give long and trouble-free service under the most arduous of conditions. Well, what do you think? No? Shall I do it normally? It was indeed another world 90 years ago. All right, will that do? Okay, so now we'll get back to serious mode. So thinking back to the times when this car was new, the idea of a synchromesh gearbox was something very new. In fact, I think one of the first cars from 1934 that I ever drove that had a synchromesh was from very high quality, high-end manufacturer Alvis. Most family cars had a crash gearbox where you had to double declutch and synchronize the changes as you went up and down through the gearbox. This was different. You literally turned the dial, selected the gear that you would go into next, but it wasn't actuated until you pressed down to the bottom and fully released the clutch. That was the point when you got the next gear. So from the point of view of usability, this was a much easier car to drive. So now we'll take this little Standard out on the road for a quick road test and demonstration of this Wilson Preselector gearbox. So now I'm going to select reverse, even though I'm going forward. And to do reverse, I have to pull it out and then turn it anti-clockwise. When I depress it, we're now in reverse. You always have to depress your foot right to the floor to get to the position where you'll engage the next gear. That's the first. Pre-select third. And then fourth. And totally different to a crash gearbox where you'd have to be depressing that clutch pedal twice to engage a gear without crunching. And it's the same with the down change. Next one I'm going to be in is third, select third, depress it again, and there we are. What a smooth change. And what a steering lock. Wow. So I'm in fourth, and since first is the next gear I'm going to be in, that's the one I pre-select. And as soon as I depress the clutch and re-engage it, we're in first gear. Pre-select second and engage. Pre-select third and engage. Pre-select fourth, bit of speed up. And there we are, we're in a cruising gear of fourth. Now back in the 1930s, most cars of this size would have had 3-speed gearboxes. So to have a 4-speed was a bit special, and it made for a slightly more relaxed cruising. They're not fast by today's standard, but they were a very comfortable, roomy and strong car. This would have been a medium-sized family car in the 1930s. But yes, a very pleasant little car from the 1930s. And what's special about it really is the quality of the restoration and this most unusual but wonderful, fully functional Wilson Preselect gearbox. If you could find a standard 12, let's say a quite nicely kept up to standard 12 that was still in, reasonably good usable condition, you might pay £7,000, £8,000, maybe £9,000 for it. This car is advertised at double that price. But let me say, the kind of work that this car's been subjected to would be the kind of work we would carry out in our sister company, Malton Coachworks, on, for example, an E-Type Jaguar on an XK, where people will be spending 70, 80, 90,000 pounds and more having particular restoration work done. So to find something that's had that level of care and detailed work as part of its restoration, and that investment of time and money in a humble car like a standard, it's rare indeed. It's quite exceptional, and I don't think we'll ever see another one like it.